Sorry for the lateness. I'm going to open the meeting at 7:05 p.m. Can everybody stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the republic
and to the
for which
republic
it
which
stands,
stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with
and
liberty and
justice for
justice for
all.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is public comment. Bill, is there anybody indicated they want to make a comment?
There's currently nobody waiting in the public.
Okay, we'll close it at 7:06. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 4th, 2021 meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Dawn Cantapia.
Dawn, thank you. We have a second?
Second, Mary Beth Thornton.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? None opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next item, we have a project finance report by Dan Martin. Dan has been working with Preston Merritt and trying to keep our finances as tight as we possibly can. Dan, are you ready to do a report?
Yeah, if I can share the screen, the report, if I can get it share, Bill. Thank you.
Everybody has share access.
Okay. All right, can everybody see that?
Yep.
Just barely.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so this is basically the budget worksheet that we've set up for the project. We're showing the Wiles contract that we signed the AA for $185,000 to date prior to any of the invoices that you guys are talking about today. This is what we've paid. This is what's left to go on his Wiles contract. This is the Cospati invoice that was partially paid. We paid $4,050 on that. We have a balance to go of $4,570. And so that leaves, that's so far on what is under the Wiles part of the deal. We have $200,000 from the town, of which $2,000 we have to pull aside for bonding costs when this project goes out to be formally bonded. There's underwriting and all that stuff. So the town takes a percentage. So that basically leaves a balance of admin costs and other expenses that would come up for us for discussion. Out of this information here is the clerk fee for Marissa. So basically what is happening is we have, at this point in time, without any invoices being paid outside of what we're outside now, $3,840 available for additional spending against the $200,000.
Okay.
Also, just so you know, the town of Trumbull Engineering Department has put in a phase 1 environmental site assessment. This has nothing to do with the $200,000, but they're also spending money against this project that you guys are working on. So we're right now at $202,400 for the total project, of which we've spent $59,840 to date. Questions?
Dan, I just have one question on the last line item, the 2,400. We're okay with that? That's not eating into any part of the budget?
No,
of that?
this is coming out of the town of Trumbull Engineering.
Okay.
It has not, but I figured it at least show you folks that it's not only the bond, but it's also the town is participating in this project. And that's also going to help with when we'll be showing the grant. Once we get the grant, it'll show up down in here once that gets approved and posted.
Rena could not join us this evening, but I did talk to her this morning. She is anticipating the money coming in from the grant sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think we certainly can't have any other expenditures until that grant money comes in. So we're going to keep the budget very, very tight. Any extras, any additional expenses that may come or be brought up would have to be approved by the body. And like Dan Martin just pointed out, we are down to about $3,800. We're gonna, my recommendation is we not do any extraordinary expenses whatsoever until such time as we have the bonding money.
The grant money.
I'm sorry, the grant money. I apologize, the grant money. Does anybody have any questions of Dan?
Ray, Steve Lemoyne, I have a question. If we could scroll down to the final figure where yeah, there we go. Excuse me. Just for clarity, the $202,000 is about $2,400 over what the town council approved, but my understanding is the town of Trumbull is absorbing that portion, so we're really not overdrawn, right?
That is correct. It's only for presentation, just to show you. So everything above here is what you folks are dealing with.
Okay,
The rest of this is just for presentation, just so you know that the town is participating. It has nothing to do with the $200,000 at all.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
It's out of the town's pocket.
Yep,
For sure.
very good. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, hey, listen, this is Dan Sacco. Here's the thing, Dan Martin, I'm most interested in as we go forward, is we had a budget when we started with, and we made a plan when we signed up to do the whole program, the architectural. Everything we've done up to now, to me, has been in budget. It's been what we had planned to do. If we go outside of that budget that we had planned initially, I would like to be aware of that when that happens, that we're looking for expenditure outside budget. Because if we're within budget and within the plan, then there's no issue from my standpoint of saying what we're doing, where we're going.
That is absolutely correct. Everything that you folks approved with the Wiles contract is on this line here.
Right,
And that's covered. Everything is covered.
right.
Everything,
Yeah,
that's the 180, where you authorized 185,000 in this contract, and we're paying 185,000 for sure.
Right. right. And nothing is,
Hold on, we don't know about, that's all the phases if it goes through, Dan. So it's first phase, Dan, in the AIA contract, there's different phases for the 185, not to exceed 185. So
Correct,
185 would be if we built the building and completed it.
correct. So this is up to a point. This is
Right.
what we authorized in the contract. I'm not sure how far it goes in to the
Right.
construction progress, but this is what we've authorized.
If we don't have the money and a budget to build a 2, 3, 4, whatever million, whatever this project may be, that 185 won't be used up. It's how far we can go and how far we get the money.
Right.
Just so you know, it's not, we don't have the money to go out to bid. We would never go out to bid documents with this without having a money there. So, I mean, that's in different phases. I think George did all the phases he's supposed to do up to the 55,000. I could look in the AA contract, but we don't go much farther until we get money.
okay, so that was the whole thing.
So Dan Martin, does this report include the invoices we are going to vote on and approve tonight?
This one doesn't, but this one does. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right, so now this is assuming that everything that you folks, it's on the agenda tonight, the 4 invoices we have on the agenda tonight, this is what happens. We receive, we had progress payments that we're making here. We're completing this payment on this invoice, and we have a new invoice that's come in. So as you can see, it flipped out, reduced this number to now that we have $2,200 available from where we had
32,
38,
38, yeah.
okay?
Okay, forgive me, but the next item on the agenda is the explanation approval of the invoices. Unfortunately, my fault, but I don't have the invoice numbers and amounts. Dan, Dan Martin, do you have those?
I do.
All right, can we go through those one by one, and maybe George can give us just a short explanation and then we can vote on each one individually?
I don't know how, I don't have them loaded as PDFs to show you guys what they are. I can maybe find them to share them.
I apologize. Usually I had them downloaded. I did not download those. My fault. Preston, do you have them?
I believe I do, but I don't have them on this computer.
Okay.
So it take me, okay.
Oh, here they are.
All right, so this is 7540. This is the balance payment of the $8,619. There, Mr. Wiles is asking for to finish off the payment to complete that
surveyor.
invoice.
Okay. I think we had approved the contracting for the surveyor. That's my understanding.
That's correct. This is for
Okay.
the property survey, and it's for all the properties so that, if the engineering department wants to use it for a future project like the spillway or dredging Catches Pond, this survey took all that in. So
Okay.
it's a valuable survey beyond just this project.
George, do you have that report?
What's that?
George, do you have that report, the survey?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we have we've had the survey for quite some time and have been using it for the civil engineering, the grading plan. The topo information we got from Codaspoti, we got probably in December.
All right, so if somebody asks for, we just ask them to get it from you? We don't have to keep it on hand?
Yeah, I can get you an electronic and a hard copy.
Okay.
So Dan Martin, in a way, we just returned the favor to the town for them doing that other work for us. So,
Okay,
all right.
thank you. We'll make note.
All right. All right. What's the next invoice, Dan?
Can you see that one?
46,250.
Right. So what this is doing is we are finishing out, going 100% complete on the design development services. And we're getting billed 50% for the construction document phase.
Okay. Do any committee members have any questions about that? Okay.
So I have
Do you
a
want us to vote on these individually, Dan?
They should be approved individually, yes.
Okay, so the first
Motion
one, the first one is the survey for, what's that, 4,569.25.
25 cents.
Do we have a motion to approve that invoice?
I have a motion to approve that invoice.
Preston, do we have a second?
Second, Mary Beth.
Okay, is there any discussion on that item? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. The next item is the 46,250, which represent 100% of the design development, 50% of the construction development. Do we have a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Steve. We have a second?
Second, Mary Beth.
Thank
Sorry.
you. Is there any discussion on that item?
Ray, can I ask a question on that one?
Sure, go ahead.
George, the next 50%, we won't get into that construction document services yet until we have a budget?
This invoice is a month old. We're about 95% done with the construction documents at this phase. So at the next building committee meeting, I'd like to do a page turn review of the completed construction documents. And then if the committee authorizes the next step, whether they're to go out.
Right, so my question was, were we supposed to do that construction until we had a budget to go out to bid? Because are those bidding documents ready to go out or just the construction part?
Those are both. The
Okay,
construction.
but I thought we weren't gonna go that far. We weren't gonna get that deep into it with the bid. We weren't gonna go out and put any bidding documents together, specification requirements, until we knew we had the money. So that's why I was a little concerned about the 101,000 against 185. I thought we'd be around the 50 mark until you put the conceptual plans together. We usually don't go that far. I mean, why are we going so far into this without the money? We've never done that. I don't know if the town attorney's on or somebody wants to answer that, but it seems we're
Jim
going.
Nugent, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm on the call, yes.
Okay, you heard Kevin's question?
Yeah, I heard him. Well, I'm not sure what the question is. What was authorized?
Well, Jim, that's just it. When we did the phase in the AA contract, he was going to go so far to accept, the committee would look at it 4,500 or 5,000, whatever conceptual drawing they liked. And we were going to stay with that until, we weren't going to put construction documents together, I thought, until there was a approved budget for a project. So if we just say, and I hope it does, nobody's rooting for us more than me, but if it doesn't have money or funded money, a grant money, you're talking like a couple $100,000. It's not 4 or 5 million. We're gonna spend $100,000 on stuff that may not go out to bid or get ready? I'm just asking that question because I thought we were going to stop in phases, and it seems like
I don't recall that. I thought that the contract carried us right through to the construction documents so we could get a final figure on what it was going to cost us. And that's part of the next.
That's what you get we get a lot of anybody could do a benchmark plan, a project plan. If it's going to cost 2 to 3, you want exact numbers. You already put them together, but the 95% construction is going to give you the exact number. But you wouldn't need that to get that for a project. It's it's either 3, 3.5, 4. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know we were going to go. I thought we were going to stop in phases. That's how I understood the contract that we wrote up in the AA contract. I'm just asking because if we don't put this out to bid, there's a lot of money that understood as seed money, but money we didn't have to spend.
I think you're bringing up a good point, but I don't think we discussed this when we approved the original budget, and that probably would have been the fair thing to do. And I'm not sure if we're treating George fairly if we cut him off and we haven't given him limitations. I'd have to go back to the minutes, but I don't recall having this conversation, Kevin.
No, I don't either.
Well, I'm pretty sure we had it where we're going to go in phases, and when we were going to stop, when we were going to go. It's too late now. If he's 95% done with the construction, then we go. But I wouldn't go any farther than that. There wouldn't be any more other phases after that. I would go. No,
You could stop immediately on any further work.
Yeah.
So your recommendation, and it seems to be a valid recommendation, that we stop George from continuing any work until we get more funding?
Well, if he's going to put a lot of hard work and effort into something, and that, it's not going to, I don't think it's for the grant to get any more money. I don't know if it's to fundraise money. It's going to do something for somebody to get to that point. I mean, we said that, we had $200,000 seed money, and George has a 185 not to exceed, complete document. I think there's 4 or 5 phases in there, and we're going to go in phases. And I know he had a cost estimator done, so we knew what the project was going to estimate cost, even at the new 5,300 or 5,000 square foot that you guys agreed upon, conceptual drawings and the the rooms and stuff. He went pretty far. I didn't know that you were going that far. I'm just saying that we're going to put money together if this doesn't get funded. That we spent $74,000.
You made your point. I think the committee has to make a decision about whether they want George to cease all further work on it for the time being, or to continue.
Yeah, or just let them finish. We'll pay them $185, and they'll put the bid documents out. We'll just have them in our pocket. I mean, I didn't know we were going to go right to that money, the $200,000, the $185, whatever it is. It's up to them, but
you have to make that decision.
So George, can I ask you, does the last 5%, would that add any benefit to us until we get the funding?
No, I mean, this is always a dilemma when you're doing municipal work, that if you don't have detailed drawings, you can't put together a detailed estimate. When you do publish the estimate, you want to be as far along with the construction documents as you can so that you can get really, really accurate estimates. And I'll give you an example. The mechanical system, when I do the page turn review of the completed 95% at the next building committee meeting, you're going to see the extended ductwork and systems that are required in a facility like this just to meet the building code. Those things come to light after you really dig in and do the technical details. So I understand what Kevin is saying, but if we had, if we'd gotten that instruction early, we would have, but we have gone from, phase to phase and invoice at the end of those phases. And now we're at the end of the construction documents. I assume that, we'd, at the next meeting, review those construction documents in detail and review our estimate of what we think the construction costs will be. And I can tell you it'll be a pretty accurate estimate because we've got a lot of good information from our structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
So as I'm understanding it, in order for us to even request a cost estimate on this construction for this building, we have to be pretty far along in the design development, and some percentage into the construction. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
I say half correct, because you're going for a budget. You're not looking for an exact number. You're not going to get a number until you go on the street. And when George put those mechanicals and bricks and mortars out there, today is February. He'll have a cost estimator do it. Come September, when fuel's up, gas is up, you can't even get lumber right now. This might double. You're not going to, you think you're going to hold somebody's feet to the fire when he puts these construction documents together for a more accurate cost estimate is nice to say, but to be honest with you, it's still not going to be what you pay when you're done with the building. We're doing them now where, roofing materials out of the question right now. I mean, we're trying to get a roof price now. People are holding prices for like 30 days. I'm just saying, I thought you were trying to get a cost estimate, which was the first cost estimate was like 2.5, 3 million, was the 4,000 square foot building. When it went to 5,300, you guys voted on a great concept. Do we have to go $74,000 into it to mechanicals to say what it's going to cost? I don't. I've never seen that, and I've been on a few, and I've.
Okay.
You guys do. But
Mary Beth, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. This is Mary Beth. I'm going to ask the question through the chair. I believe we were going into this as quickly and as detailed as we could because Rena isn't on, but it was my understanding that Rena said that if we were going to go out for grant money, it had to be shovel ready. And so she was asking for all this detail. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. That's a
and
correct
that's why
statement.
we rushed to this, and that's why we moved along so quickly, because Rena wanted us to be in a position to present it for grant money from the state as shovel ready. So that was my understanding.
Hey, Ray, Dan Sacco, I would say that we're 95% of the way there on this one. We finish this last 5% and get it done.
Yeah.
The only stipulation for the future, in my opinion, would be this. We shouldn't do anything that has a shelf life. It's going to disappear. We're going to spend this money, and then if it takes us a year to get funds, it's no longer any good. So we should be careful with that, with what we do, where we spend the funds. We're against budget now where we want to be. We're not spending outside the budget. Let's stay within the budget. But let's make sure we don't do anything that it could have a shelf life that doesn't work just because we're trying to rush something that we don't have funds for.
Well, to Kevin's point, and to Mary Beth's point too, we're 95% there, go the other 5%, but there's going to be subject to change depending on availability of materials and cost and so forth. I hear what Kevin's saying, I understand it. And I also hear Mary Beth is correct because Rena, and I'm not putting this on Rena, we all agreed that we wanted to make sure we are positioned so that we have a shovel-ready project that she can present to the state legislature to the people, the federal people that we're talking to, and also to businesses. But primarily, it's to get the bonding funding from the state of Connecticut. And you're kind of in a catch-22. If you're not ready for it, they're going to push you to the bottom of the pile. And then if you get too far along and you are ready and they delay it, I can hear what Kevin's saying about the accuracy of the cost estimate. So I hear that. So as a committee, we have to decide. There's 5% left. George has done what we've asked him to do. So
I think it makes sense to continue, but one other point I'd like George to comment on is if we waited a year to come back with we had to update these costs, so we wouldn't be incurring a complete redo of these expenses or incurring of these expenses. It would be an update, right?
No.
So,
Yeah, you wouldn't, I mean, you would not.
okay.
It'd be nice, you wouldn't get charged over again. These are documents that, other than code changes, which would be minor, other than that, there'd be no changes unless you change the scope of the project. But if the scope of the project remains the same and it's shelved for a year, when it comes back, there would just be a modest startup cost and we're off and running.
And I think Kevin's point is well taken on the committee, but I do think that we're at a point now that there may have been a misunderstanding, but I don't think so, given what Mary Beth said, and I recall us saying we wanted to be shovel ready. I think we should authorize the last 5%. I think we did authorize the full 100% of that earlier, based on Mary Beth's comments and what I recalled also.
I can tell you this, that if we were this far along, we wouldn't be able to respond as well as detailed as we did in securing the 128,000 grant. Because we were so deep into the construction documents, we knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we wrote several scenarios based upon the technical information that we had developed.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the invoice for $46,250? Okay, hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Dan Martin, is there's a third invoice? Dan?
Coming.
Okay.
All right, this is another one that's outside of the scope of the 185,000. This was additional services that was incurred by Wiles to do whatever this is for wetlands or whatever it is. I can give you the backup.
Yeah, I can expand on a little bit.
Go ahead, George.
And here's the backup.
Yeah, the soil scientists to go out, take samples, put flags for the surveyor then to come and map the wetlands. And we did the whole perimeter of Katz's Pond for $1,300, which I think is a pretty good deal. So the entire perimeter of Katz's Pond is flagged and mapped and is on the survey that we'll share with the town.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question through the chair.
Move this.
I would like to know if engineering has any record of any other wetlands delineation or survey of this property from the past.
Not that we could find. We asked them, and there wasn't any. There was some aerials and some GSI mapping. So we mapped the perimeter of Katz's Pond, and there's also a small strip of wetlands, which is intermittent watercourse between the existing parking area and Route 25. So we flagged that also.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
This soil testing and wetland testing will benefit the engineering department when they go to do the remediation of Katz's Pond. Is that correct?
It's good information that they can use.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this item?
So moved on Catapio?
We have a second?
Second, Mary Beth Horton.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. The next item on the agenda, I'd like,
One more.
we got one more. Okay, sorry. I apologize. What do we got, Dan?
This is finishing out the first schematic design, paying the balance due on the schematic design.
Okay. I think that was just an adjustment from a previous bill, correct?
Yes, it's finished. They're finished. They're completing the invoicing for the project.
Okay, all right. All right. Do we have a motion to approve the $250?
Preston makes a motion to approve.
We have a second?
Dave Lemoyne.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. Dan, anything else?
That's it.
Dan, thank you very much for your help for helping us straighten this
Dan.
out.
Thank you, Dan.
No worries.
Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda, there's been some discussion about how we go about doing the cost estimates and who we could use to do that. There's two schools of thought. One is that if a firm does this kind of work for us and they do it gratis, that they then cannot bid on the project when it comes out for bidding. And there's another school of thought that says as long as they stay away from doing the actual specifications for an RFP, if they stay away from that, then they're okay. I'm not sure which is right. So I've asked Kevin Bova and Jim Nugent. Kevin, of course, is our purchasing agent. Jim has extensive experience with building committees to give the committee some guidance. So, gentlemen. Kevin?
Yep. So how it works is for any capital projects or any budgetary reasons, we will use anybody to give us a placeholder, a benchmark on a building like this. If he's already done construction documents, up to 95% are going to be 100. You know, I don't think George is doing the cost estimate. I think he has an outside contractor. If it's the outside contractor who's going to give him the cost estimate on those construction documents, that bidder will not be able to bid on this. So you might want to look at a different person to put a cost estimate together if he wants that person to bid. But with 95% done, another 5% going to be done. Whoever puts, there's going to be a person that puts that, because I think George outsources that part, the cost estimate. So whoever uses will have detailed now on exactly what you guys are doing, will have an unfair advantage if he bids. So
let me jump in a little bit, Kevin.
Sure.
Not to interrupt you, but as part of our base services, we will do an estimate. Our estimate is detailed. That's the way we do it. We'll share that with the committee. Our accuracy when we're at 95% is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's architects are always notorious for crazy estimates, but.
Is that in-house, George?
Pardon me?
Is that in-house?
Yeah, we do that in-house.
All right, then
Yeah, we
that's
do it
different.
in-house. Now, the reason we do it in-house is that the software that we have, Revit, it takes off all that data, and
Right.
that data is easily transferred into an Excel sheet. And then we do reach out to contractors and we ask them what are the current, and we call supply houses and find what
That's
the
fine. That's benchmarking.
value is of labor and so forth. And we plug that into an Excel sheet and we we produce a detailed estimate.
No, because I remember when I asked you that, who did your cost estimate on the 2 to 3 million, you told me who it was. If he was still gonna do your cost estimate for you on this, then he'd be excluded. If you're doing it in-house, I'm good. You know, that's in writing. You said you're putting it in-house. I'm good with the cost estimate with you guys.
Yeah, we will not share the 95%
Okay.
construction documents with anyone.
All right.
And we get the direction from the committee. If the committee wants to hire a professional outside estimator
No,
on a project of this size,
no.
I'm not sure it's worth it. It's about usually they get between $5,000 and $10,000. And their estimate compared to ours will be within 10%. So
Yep.
it's up
I don't
to,
think so, George. That's what we hired you for. You have the cost estimate in your the software you told us you had. That's fine. We use that on most architects.
Jim Nugent, do you have anything to add?
Well, just the following. I mean, basically, any committee has certain limited options in this regard. So putting aside the architect's estimate, if you want a contractor in the business to estimate, eliminating the option of not doing it at all, but if you want to get one, you only have a few options, which is one is to hire somebody and pay them, and then they are excluded from bidding. Sometimes, contractors have provided one for free, and they go ahead and bid, but not on 95% completed construction documents. This is on not a back of the napkin, but a much broader initial overview to give us some guideposts about where the project could end up. So you don't have that many options if you want to go get a legitimate licensed contractor to give you an accurate estimate, other than to compensate them. And if you don't pay them, you're either going to let them bid or not, right? So and that depends on the level of detail he's looking at, as Kevin mentioned.
So I understand this. If we were at 50%, let's say, and we had somebody come in to do a cost estimate, it'd be less likely to have a conflict when it came time to bid on the job. Is that fair?
Something like that. I mean, there's no magic number on these things. And, we don't have any specific ordinance in town that speaks to it either. So it's an independent decision as we go along here. But, the less detail, then the less inside knowledge that contractor is going to have if they bid the job.
Okay.
So we're well past that point.
So we're comfortable, Kevin, we're comfortable with an in-house cost estimate by George?
Yep.
Okay, good. I was struggling with what we were going to do with that, and I didn't want to spend any additional money, so thank you. Okay, good. George, next item on the agenda, George, do you have any updates to the project updates?
no, just that, we're finishing, the invoice that you approved tonight is a month and a half old. So we're just about wrapping it up right now. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we have a Zoom meeting to coordinate with the final model. We've got some conflicts. We're going to work all that out. So at our next meeting in a couple of weeks, or maybe in 3 weeks, is probably a good time. We'll have a detailed estimate, and we'll do a page turn where I'd like to present every single page to the building committee and touch on it, and we'll stop at the ones that are important and we'll go through them. So the set right now is somewhere around 50 drawings with the specifications of around 400 pages of specifications, but we won't read the specifications. We'll just do the drawings. So that way the committee will have an idea of, what did we do for, $185,000, which, sounds like a lot of money until you start splitting it up into all the consultants on the team and all the information that we have to produce. So I think the only thing that's hanging out there right now that we can't wrap our arms around because of weather has been the septic system. So we're going to design the septic system based upon the test pits that were done by the town before the projects even started to see if it was feasible. So those are good. I would feel much better if we hadn't had the snow and the Public Works Department was nice enough to offer us to go out there and dig some test pits and do some additional testing. So I wanted to do the testing of the fill to make sure there's no hazardous material. Because as you recall, the geotech report is we have to remove that deleterious material and we have to bring in new material, which the town, by the way, has been nice enough to donate. And we want our geotech engineer to go inspect it to make sure it's the right mixtures to use for the structural fill. So that's been thrown off a little bit because of the weather, but that's the only detail that's really hanging out there.
George, there's no hookup for there? Sewer hookup?
No, there's no storage there.
Septic.
Through the chair, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
I have a question for Attorney Nugent and Purchasing Agent Kevin Bova. Because we had a discussion regarding whether it was an in-house estimate or we would hire a licensed contractor, does this building committee need to vote on that choice or we can just put it in the minutes and it's accepted?
You guys could vote on it.
It's already part of George's contract.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
You don't need to
Okay.
vote on that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because it seemed to me it was given as some kind of a choice and that we were making a choice, but
You know,
if it's
I
part of
think-
his contract.
Yeah, I think, Mary Beth, early on, we had discussions about allowing a contractor to go out and do a cost estimate on the project. And then we learned, I didn't realize that George's firm had the level of detail to provide a cost estimate in-house. And certainly that's to Kevin's point earlier about, this number may very well change if we don't get the money for a year or two. That, I wouldn't, at this point, this juncture anyway, I wouldn't recommend that we go out and hire anybody to do a cost estimate. We can rely on the one George has.
Okay, just my
If you guys-
question was, is that something we need to vote on? That's all.
Yeah.
Not
You know,
for George, you
Part
don't.
of his contract already. So, we may at a later date decide we want to do that, but I think for the time being, we're good to let it go just the way the contract reads.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Does there anybody have any other questions of George? Okay, is there any other business to come before the committee? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just for Ray, you need to give
Go
me
ahead,
the
Dan.
signed, Dan Martin, just make sure you give me the signed invoices so I can get them paid by
Right,
you.
yep, I certainly, would you have them at the office there, Dan? Are you going to be in tomorrow?
We're closed on Friday. I'll be there on Monday.
Monday's a holiday. You going to be there Monday?
They'll be there Thursday next.
Oh, you won't be there till next Thursday?
Yeah, I'm on, my team is Monday and Thursday.
Okay, all right, I will get the invoices signed and I'll have them delivered to your office for Monday.
Okay, and if you, let me know if they get there and I'll have somebody pull them out and I can get them coded over.
Yeah,
over
I'll make sure I get them to you either tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
Hey, Dan,
Alright.
we're not doing any other POs that we did for the police station where we pay the services that George uses?
No, not now.
Okay.
It's too late.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second, Dawn Contapio.
Thank you, Dawn. All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
No.
Okay, folks, I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ray. Have a good
Bye-bye.
night, everybody.